For football fans of a certain age, Italian football, particularly the Serie A, was definitely a source of joy, inspiration, and definitely a lot of awe. The reason for that being, of course, that at one point Serie A was home to some of the biggest and brightest stars that world football had to offer. It had everything. You had some very good tactical football, you had plenty of star power, and the money in the league was flowing. Unfortunately, good times don't always last, and recent times have rather unfortunately seen the league slip down in terms of star power as well as the amount of money that it potentially generates. However, in recent times, there's been a bit of an upsurge, and that's really good news for fans, not just of football, but of Italian football as a whole. In this special story, we'll chart that entire journey from them being at the top, then falling, and then now climbing slowly back up to the top of the football game again, and why exactly it is a good time to be positive about the future of Serie A. Italian football's unpredictable 2022-23 season started with Napoli winning the Serie A title, their first league title in over 30 years. It also ensured that the Italian league has now seen 4 different winners in the last 4 seasons. Juventus lifted the trophy in the 2019-20 season, followed by Inter Milan in the 2020-21 season. Their rivals AC Milan lifted the Scudetto the following season, with Napoli getting their hands on the trophy at the end of the 2022-23 season. But this wasn't the only bit of good news for Italian football. The league was represented across all European club competition finals too. Inter made it to the Champions League final, with AS Roma taking part in the Europa League final. And in the Conference League, it was Fiorentina who flew the flag for Italian football's mini-renaissance. It harkened back to 1990, a time when Serie A was the dominant league in European football. That year, the Serie A title was won by Diego Maradona's Napoli. The European Cup was lifted by AC Milan for the second straight season, whereas Sampdoria tasted success in the European Cup Winners' Cup, and Juventus beat Fiorentina in an all-Italian final to win the UEFA Cup. Italian teams were dominant forces on the field. In the 1990s, Italian teams won 13 European trophies, and the league was home to a whopping 6 Ballon d'Or winners. What's more, the league's success was backed by significant financial muscle too. At one point, 6 of the most expensive players in the world plied their trade in Italy. It was a glorious time for the sport, but the bubble burst significantly in the early to mid-2000s. By then, the English Premier League's financial might, as well as the resurgence of popularity for clubs like Real Madrid and Barcelona, meant Serie A suddenly had competition. To make things worse, the Calciopoli match-fixing scandal hit, and the credibility of the league dipped significantly. By the time Inter Milan lifted the treble in 2010, Italian football's decline had already begun. Barring Juventus, who won 9 consecutive leagues from 2012 to 2020, every other major side in Italy became a selling club. However, renewed investment from foreign investors in the past few years has led to relative stabilization of the clubs. But there are still challenges to be overcome. Serie A's earnings from broadcast revenue domestically are minuscule in comparison to Europe's other top leagues. Nevertheless, the fact that Italian sides are making such strides despite being hamstrung financially is a good sign for the future, and inspires hope that perhaps one day in the near future, Italy will once again be an attractive destination for the top stars of the sport. It has been a long journey back to relevance and, of course, financial independence and superstars coming into Italy for a while now, but truth be told, it couldn't have been happening to a better country, because again, Italy is just one of those nations that has so many historic clubs and a lot of fond memories for lots of football fans, be it of this age or be it even relatively newer ones. So it is in a way nice to see that Italian football, specifically the bigger Serie A clubs, are coming into the fore once again. Of course, they would hope that they'd have more success than they did in Europe this year, where despite the fact that there were 3 Italian clubs in the 3 European finals, none of them actually ended up on the winning side. Yet, as I mentioned, the reasons for them even being there in the first place is pretty good. So, the signs for a good future, well, they are just there. Now we're hoping that they can capitalize on it and make Italy one of the top footballing nations once again. Which clubs would you think would be the best to lead the charge for Serie A's next great run at the top of the football mountain? You can let us know that in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap the bell icon, leave us a comment, follow us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Don't forget to download the AajTak app as well. Plus, if you're already on the channel, go ahead and check out some other videos that we've done. But for now, from my side, goodbye.